Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
This is the show where nostalgia and reality collide as we watch an episode of Power Rangers, and then after that, we discuss it. This week, we're watching episode number 47, which is entitled
Reign of the Jellyfish.
I'm
not going to mime Reign of the Jellyfish.
It's Reign of the Jellyfish. My name is Matt. Michael's here once
Howdy.
again, as he ever is. And we're joined once again by Kaley.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back, Kaley.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. How you doing?
Very good.
I'm so glad to hear it. Alright, so before we watch the show today, I would like to tell you that our website is www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. You can send us an email at rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. We're at RangerDcast on Twitter. We're also on Stitcher, iTunes, Facebook,
YouTube?
Google+.
I think that's all the things.
I think that, yeah. Alright, so before we get to watching Reign of the Jellyfish...
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be some sort of jellyfish with a crown, right?
That would be fantastic, I hope so. Maybe they'll just...
Crowny fish.
Do you think it's a jellyfish that makes storms, maybe?
No, because it's spelt like REIGN.
Yeah, but...
Oh, you think it might be a... Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see, I guess.
We will see. Now, before we get to that, we've got something to do.
Yeah.
On air.
Okay.
Live.
We've got to... I mean, don't hype it up.
It's live for us.
I've got a giant box here that arrived from America.
Michael has a giant box that has come across the seas.
Can you describe how big it is for the people?
Sounds like it's getting somewhere we don't need to go.
Yeah, this is my mail order bride.
So it's a very big box. It would be, I guess, 8 shoeboxes. Is that a fair description?
I mean, that's not the unit of measurement that I'd have used, but sure, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
on the size of your foot.
Yeah. It's about the size of a small child, I guess. Maybe of 4 years of age.
Centimetres, Matt, or inches. Either of those would be an acceptable unit.
I don't really operate in those terms.
No,
unfortunately.
you operate in metaphor units.
Plus, a lot of our listeners are American, so we'd
That's
have to
why-
just describe it in feet.
That's why I offered inches as an option.
Oh, okay.
12 inches is a foot.
I would say it's about 4 foot long and 2
Okay,
foot
that's-
wide.
That's about true, yeah.
Yeah,
And
look at
about...
that. 1 foot deep?
No, not quite 1 foot deep.
Okay.
So, Matt, tell them what's in the box. You don't know what's in the box.
I believe it is 1 Megazord
Yep.
and 1 Dinozord. Is that correct?
No.
No, okay, I was already wrong. What is in the box?
It
I
is a
feel like
mega...
it shouldn't
Hold
be
on.
this hard to open.
The
You
tape
have
is...
scissors- you have
The tape
scissors.
is very tight, which is good because it came...
I'm so glad you're doing this on air. You get thrilling, tight tape situations.
That's a satisfying sound, I feel.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so it's open. There's some bubble wrap in there. There's more box sounds for your listening pleasure. More cutting.
With great difficulty.
Some tearing. I can see more bubble wrap. A lot of bubble wrap. Ah! Aha!
Yes.
It is a Legacy Megazord. Wow, that's really cool. Even the box is pretty,
Yeah.
high quality. And a Legacy Dragonzord. That's really cool. Alright.
So, Michael purchased these from overseas because the Australian distributor of Power Rangers toys had no intention of bringing them to our shores.
That's insane. Why not?
I
'Cause
think
they're done.
because they're incredibly expensive to import and there's a limited number of people who buy them.
Okay.
As evidenced by the fact that my local Toys R Us has had 12 Legacy Morphers sitting on the shelves for a year.
Right. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Can we take them?
I mean, sure, you're willing to spend $120 on each one?
No, I didn't say buy.
Right, okay, you just want to steal. Right, this is going to
Are
be
we
Mighty
sure?
Morphin
Yeah,
heist
are we sure we
danger.
should- Yeah.
If it's consensual, all the better, but I just prefer not to pay for them.
Right, sure, I mean, that sounds great. So,
Are we going to open these on air, or...?
I think we might open these off air,
Okay.
and then we might talk about them later this episode, or maybe next episode.
Okay, that sounds good. Do we have any emails or anything like that this week?
No, we don't have anything this week.
Oh, that's disappointing.
You
Let us down, listeners.
I mean, to be fair, they sent us emails that they haven't heard us respond to yet.
That's true.
So,
alright.
it's a difficult conversation. It's like being in that Keanu Reeves movie with Sandra Bullock. The Lake House.
Oh.
Where they're communicating through time. Yeah, it's much like being in Speed, except instead of there being a bus, there's communication through time. I bet that was the pitch for that movie. It's like Speed, but the bad guy is the ever-flowing river of chronology.
I try to live my life like I'm living in Speed.
You mean never slow down?
Yeah. Never drop below 80 kilometers an hour or whatever it is.
I
Probably
think
not
60 miles.
60 miles.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think you get to that speed.
Alright.
It's a metaphorical speed, I think. I don't think it's a literal, like...
I probably don't even hit that metaphorical speed, to be fair.
I'll be sure, that's a different issue.
Yeah.
So we are going to watch Reign of the Jellyfish.
Yep.
And probably play with a Megazord.
Yep.
And we'll be back in a bit, I guess.
Yeah. See you soon, guys. Welcome back. We just watched The Reign of the Jellyfish.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that his reign was short-lived.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that I'd describe it as a reign, to be honest.
I definitely wouldn't describe it as
He
reign.
was pretty hardcore, though. Like...
Kind of. Anyway, we'll get to that. But before we do, we've opened and had a bit of a play with the Legacy Megazord, which is a good time.
So awesome.
As we discussed on the show, this is particularly gratifying for me because when I was a young lad watching Power Rangers, I asked for a Megazord for Christmas.
Right.
And my mum got me a Megazord that was one of the remote control ones.
Yep.
That did not turn into the individual Zords.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you think about the Megazord,
Yep.
it's not really designed to be a cool remote control thing.
No, the cool gimmick is that it splits into 5 cool dinosaurs.
Yes, not that it wheels around slowly on its legs.
No.
So yeah, this is really cool for me, and I think they're pretty cool little toys.
Yeah.
For me too, because my one was not even remote controlled. It was like the dodgy one that like the legs came off, so you had the saber-toothed tiger and the triceratops, and then just the top bit.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like the toy where you can only afford half the transformation.
Yeah, basically, and that's just the legs come off, and then you roll
Right,
them
well,
around.
let's talk about this a bit. So he splits up pretty well. He's a little hard to get apart, but that was the first time.
Yeah,
so
I think once you've done it, it will be...
he's got some die-cast bits.
Yeah.
The Tyrannosaurus has got the most of them, which
Yeah.
is fitting because he's the best.
I think the Tyrannosaurus and the Mastodon come out really cool looking.
Yeah, look, I mean, the rest of them don't have
mind
a...
the saber-toothed tiger.
The rest of them
That's
don't
not
really
bad.
have a lot of transformation work to do. Their role in the kind of combination is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas the other two have to kind of split up and turn into bits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, these guys are cool. The Triceratops and the saber-toothed tiger and the
Flying one.
flying one, pterodactyl.
The
But,
flying one.
I mean, look, the pterodactyl's not particularly impressive ever.
Yeah.
And the
Even
other
in
two... Other two are mostly plastics. They're a bit light. There's not a lot of
Weight
heft to them.
Yeah.
But then we get to the other two, and yeah, these two are impressive.
They're very cool.
So, because the Mastodon becomes the arms,
Yeah.
he's got kind of die-cast bits that are the arms.
Yeah.
And they give him a nice
Weight.
And his transformation is really cool. He's basically a back piece for the Megazord and the arms, which fold back around onto themselves, and then the head goes onto it.
Yeah.
And they make this cool little squat little dude.
Now, to me, I think both the back bit of the Mastodon and the shoulder pads of the Megazord are much bigger proportionately than they are on the show. Is that your feeling?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I noticed that just when he was a Megazord, the shoulder pads looked a lot bigger.
Yep.
And I don't mind, 'cause I think it looks cool. It's just an interesting point that they seem to upscale it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that they're, as much as they're designed to kind of go together, they are able to fudge the proportions
on the show
because they can just have a separate model.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for instance, I've seen with the Dragonzord, his tail becomes that drill.
Yeah.
And in the toy, that drill is like twice the height of the Megazord because for his tail to be in scale with the Dragonzord, it has to cheat, whereas on the show they can just give him a smaller drill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about the Tyrannosaurus. He's rad.
He is rad. I think it looks really cool because his legs in particular are the die-cast metal.
Yep.
And it gives him a really cool look.
Yeah.
I think what confuses me the most is if I was to pick a bit of the Megazord to make die-cast metal,
Yep.
it would be the chest plate bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's like the central part of the whole
And
thing,
with
right?
the armor and...
Yeah, but it's just like a shiny sticker, really.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
it is.
So I think like if that had been the case, then it would have looked really cool.
I mean, I think somewhere out there there's a like
Even more
a
expensive.
$500 version of this
Yeah.
that is all like die-cast metal and coloured metal and is gorgeous, but is prohibitively expensive for anyone to ever make.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. I think it's a cool little...
Matt pointed out downstairs that the funny thing about the Tyrannosaurus is that his arms are stubby little Tyrannosaurus arms.
Yeah.
Because it was more important for Zordon to be like paleontologically accurate than it was for them to be useful. Like, he could have had an arm big enough to hold the sword. There's no reason they have to look like dinosaurs. But
I love that he got that right, but when he was selecting dinosaurs, he selected...
he chose like 3 dinosaurs and 2 just other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From that time period.
Roughly. Very roughly.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So they're very cool. I'm very happy with them.
Yeah.
They've got the Zord Builder system,
Yep.
which is all these kind of identically sized holes and connectors,
Yep.
which are on all of the modern Megazords, so that you can pull bits off and add bits. If you got the most recent Megazord, you could connect him as a leg.
When you say most recent, what do you
Like
mean?
Samurai,
Oh,
Megaforce, yeah, all of
Okay.
the like new.
That's cool.
Megazord
That's a
toys.
good idea.
So the idea is that like all of the toys for the last 5 years or so you can combine into one monstrosity.
Yeah.
So
So is there a Legacy Thunderzord coming?
we know that there's the Legacy Dragonzord is sitting on my bed right now.
Yep.
We'll
We'll talk about that next week.
talk about that next week. Yeah. There's a Legacy Saba and Legacy White Tigerzord announced.
Yep.
We haven't heard about the Thunderzords yet.
Yep.
To get the Tiger Sword.
I'm trying not to get the Tiger Sword, but it looks like I might be getting the Tiger
Look,
Sword.
I will get the Thunderzord. That'll be my contribution because it's my favorite. I'm going to have to do it.
So if they
Sarah may
announce it-
break up with me, but
at this rate, these seem to sell out. I mean, I had to buy these from a third-party retailer because you can't get them.
Yep.
So they seem to be selling their print runs. I don't know if that's because they're making like 100 of them and 100 people want them.
Yep.
Or if they're making like 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
I think the Thunderzords are probably a tougher sell
because they're not quite as iconic.
because they're not as iconic and
Yep.
because a lot of people might have these and go, okay, I've got a Megazord now. Like, that's that part of my life sorted.
Yeah.
Legacy Titanus is coming.
Oh, really?
He's $200 US
Ooh.
because he is to
Huge.
scale.
Yeah.
So,
Because you have to be able to fit the Megazord inside Titanus.
yeah, otherwise there's no point.
No point.
So he would be enormous. He'd be that box on his own.
Yeah.
I'm not getting Titanus. I've seen all the episodes Titanus is in.
Yeah.
I still don't care about Titanus.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get me with that.
Yeah.
But White Tigerzord and Thunderzords, we'll see.
Yeah, Thunderzord, if they make it, I will buy it. I will commit to that.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, that's
Or
right.
The other way around.
Yeah. If they build it, I will come to them with money, is what
So
I'm
look,
saying.
if you can get a hold, if you're interested in getting a hold of these,
Yeah.
we're recommended, I think. We haven't tried to put them in the tank mode yet, but we might give that a shot off air.
Yep.
I mean, the tank mode's not very exciting.
No one likes the tank mode,
No.
really.
Let's talk about Reign of the Jellyfish.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We watched the episode of Power Rangers, didn't
Yeah,
we?
well, I mean,
It was eminently forgettable.
yeah, look, it was just another one of those episodes that is just a nothing episode. It's just...
Yeah. And I think we're kind of in that spot at the
Yeah.
moment. But I think very soon we'll have some interesting developments that'll get us out of this little hole that we're in.
Yep, hopefully.
Yeah. So it starts off with the return of, I was about to say fan favourite, but that would be a lie.
Yep,
Miss Appleby's back.
yep. And Principal Kaplan is gone because they can afford one of them at a time.
Yeah. I guess she was on like 9 months vacation from the school.
Yeah, who knows?
And they are putting together a time capsule.
Yep.
Now, I sort of remember making a time capsule in school, but I don't remember it being that big. Is that standard time capsule
No,
size?
I think that's Hollywood prop time capsule size.
Okay.
I think it would have been like, I think we did a small box. Did you do a time capsule at school?
I don't recall doing one. But I basically just recall making a pencil box out of wood, so... That's...
Okay.
I made a pencil box out of wood as well.
So do I. I
Yeah.
think that's what you do.
No one ever then uses those pencil boxes?
I did.
Mine, yeah, I gave it to my mum. I made a pencil box.
I still
And
have
also a thing that dispenses, like, rolls of paper and you write on it and then tear it off. So you,
Right.
like, write shopping lists and stuff.
Right.
It is used to this day.
That's pretty cool.
So, pretty proud of that. Cool, I'm glad about that.
But that's unrelated to... So you did a time capsule.
Yes.
I suspect we did a time capsule at some point.
Yeah.
That was certainly a thing that I was aware of.
I feel like it was a small tube
Yeah.
and had a lot more, like, documents, like our writings and pictures and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Write a letter to, like, you in 20 years
Exactly.
about...
See, I don't recall ever doing any of that. The knowledge I have of time capsules comes from TV shows.
You know what? You know, that's just reminded me, being in school and having to write, maybe in kindergarten or year one, or probably a little later than that, actually, having to write, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And me writing that I wanted to be an actor on Power Rangers.
really?
But here's the thing, right? I don't think I wanted to be an actor.
You want
Yeah.
to be
Like,
a
I had
Power
no
Ranger.
interest in being an actor.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
But at that age, I knew that
That
the
they-
Power Rangers weren't real.
Yeah.
They were people who pretended to be the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So,
Next best
therefore,
thing.
the closest thing to being a Power Ranger
Yeah.
Being an
is
actor.
being an actor on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I think I've missed the boat on
What
that
if you
one.
unfortunately got
Probably.
Unless I get through to, like, the lovable mentor or voice actor.
Or
What if you
Vulcan
became-
Skull, probably.
yeah,
No,
or-
it's too late for
or
me to
you
be
became
Vulcan
like
Skull.
A putty. Just
Yeah,
It's probably not too late. Like, I think you could still probably pass for high... If you shaved.
I would definitely have to shave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass for high school age.
I don't think I'd be any older than the people who are currently on Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I also think I would have to be able to act.
Yeah.
I think there's...
Well, I don't think that's true.
I don't know if you'd have
That's
to.
fair. You know, I wonder if that's down in the garage. I will have a look for that.
A Power Ranger actor?
No. My letter that I wrote.
Oh, right.
I wonder if we kept that.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
if
I'll
they
have a
did.
look and I'll see if we can find that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they putting in the time capsule?
So they all present an item to put in.
Yep.
So Jason puts in his first karate trophy.
Yep.
Which I don't have an issue with, because I would totally do that, because that's a big moment in his life.
Well, like, at first I was like, that's a dick move. Putting in something like, hey, look how great I was.
Yeah.
He justifies it as saying that it's to show you what you can achieve if you believe yourself and keep yourself fit.
Yep.
Which, yeah.
It's a look. He's clearly done what all those kids did,
Yeah.
which is think what they want to do and then justify why that will be useful to the future,
Yes.
rather than come up with something good for the future.
Yeah.
And then
So Kimberly puts in a pink sweater.
Yep.
In hopes that she'll revive 90s fashion in
And
100
to
years.
show that they had the freedom to choose what they wore.
Yeah.
I guess she's imagining like a future where we all have to wear white jumpsuits and live in pods and stuff.
Maybe she was imagining the Hunger Games.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
She should have written it down if she was.
Little did she know that 90s fashion would come back like 20 years later, not 100. So Billy puts in, he calls it a personal computer that he designed.
Yeah.
It looks like a calculator,
It does look a lot like a calculator.
like with all of the buttons.
Yeah.
He says it's to show how advanced their technology was.
And then we all laugh.
From 2014, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you got no idea.
Yeah. Zach puts in a CD of...
A Slammin' CD
that's
with
right.
some fat tunes.
There's some really fat tunes on there, sure.
Which I'm actually wondering if in 100 years it would actually... like,
Play?
Will we have...
Yeah. Well, there's two
CD
questions there. Will anyone be able to play it? Will they have the equipment? And will it have not deteriorated? Because that CDs like have a life of...
And also, will they understand?
yeah.
I feel like if you put...
It's 100 years.
If you put recording material from 1914,
Yeah.
if you gave it to me now,
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be.
Yeah,
Like,
but
is it
you
a
could
wax
find
cylinder?
out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like...
Yeah. But I feel like with a small amount of research you could figure out what
Sure.
it was. So, yeah. And
Trini put in, like, the most recent newspaper, which
I
is
think that was actually
yeah,
the most useful...
the only
of
sensible idea.
all of the
the
things.
music one, I think that was okay.
Yeah, if it worked out in the future. The idea was a good idea.
I think we all breathed a deep sigh of relief that Trini put in something that wasn't Asian related.
Yeah.
Like chopsticks or something.
Yeah. To show my culture.
Yeah.
No, she put in a decent idea.
Yeah. So good job, writers. Thank you for that.
What did Mrs. Appleby put in this time capsule, Matt?
Oh, I can't remember. What did she put in?
She put in a photo of the Power Rangers.
Oh, of course she
that's the whole
did.
thing.
So that they will be remembered 100 years from now.
And it's that fantastic photo that they put up
At the Power
at
Rangers.
the Power Rangers party, which is a photo from directly in front of the power cannon.
Yep.
That would presumably result in that photographer being vaporized.
Yep.
So I'm not sure when that photo
And
was
it also
taken.
creates the idea that they, like, at some point did some publicity photos.
Yeah,
Like, okay, guys, the newspapers want something. Let's just go to the studio and we'll take some photos.
Whip out our incredibly dangerous cannon.
Yeah. I feel like the Power Rangers, historically, are going to prove to have been quite significant.
Yeah.
I think if tomorrow, like, giant monsters started invading and there were these 5 guys who had a giant robot to fight them off, I feel like they'd be not forgotten.
Yeah.
Especially not in 100 years.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think if Nikola Tesla had a giant robot with which he fought off giant monsters, everybody would know his name.
That's my dream.
Also, we would see that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want nothing more in the world than to see that movie.
Is it too late for Pacific Rim 2 to take place in, like, the 1950s?
Ah. Yeah, that would be
Let's
so
write a
good.
letter.
Yeah.
So, Rita sees this. She gets upset.
Yeah.
Because she wants to be remembered forever.
I just imagine, like, she imagines their life is like her reality TV show, and she's just watching it, and she's like, I am unhappy with the direction this is going in. I'm going to fix something here, put a little thing in the way.
I think I would agree with everything about that except for the word fix.
Yeah.
Well, she tries to fix to her...
Fix from her point of view.
from her, not from regular people's point of view.
I mean, look, I do also feel like Rita Repulsa is going to prove to have been pretty important.
Yeah, I don't think everyone seems to know her name.
Yeah, I mean, if the issue is that she's not going to be well known, that's only because she has a base on the moon and doesn't come down to Earth that often, you know what I mean?
But the reporters refer to her by name without any sort of extra context, like people should know her.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's doing okay.
I feel like her outfit would just make her remembered anyway.
I think she would be noted in the historical document. And I feel like even if she wasn't, getting a photo of her into a time capsule that some high school kids put into the ground, not the way to get, like, go down to Earth and blow up a building.
Yeah,
right?
that's not the path of least resistance
like,
there.
There's much better solutions, but unfortunately they don't revolve around what these 5 kids are doing this week,
Yeah.
so we can't do them.
No.
I
So-
liked when Kimberly and Trini were talking about, like, what Mrs. Appleby had said, and they're like, I wonder how we will be remembered. I just really liked that because it was, like, such a teenage kind of thing.
There's a lot of room for, like, an actual episode about there's a time capsule in Angel Grove and what goes into it.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve 3 minutes on the bulk witch, though.
That's what we get. Do you want to describe the bulk witch?
Oh, God. Okay. So it's...
a mess.
It's a long bread roll, and when I say long, I mean several feet, several meters.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably as tall as a person.
yeah, it's a very long bread
Average
roll.
person.
The beginning stages of it are like some sort of sliced meat.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough to tell what it is.
Yeah.
And tomato sauce, ketchup, and mustard.
Yeah.
And then
I would say mayonnaise.
There's some
or
lettuce.
there's some sort of green sauce.
Yeah.
Lettuce.
There's definitely some lettuce thrown on.
Salad. Mayonnaise.
And just for your context, their bulk and skull are assembling this sandwich in class.
In front of everyone.
In front of everyone with the intent
Of
of putting it into the time capsule.
Which isn't big enough to fit it, surprisingly, because it was a...
Big time capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they could probably bend it.
and then
But-
destroy everything else.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone would let them put it in the time
Yes.
capsule.
It's a miracle that these kids haven't been expelled yet.
Oh, yeah. It's a miracle that Mrs. Appleby doesn't stop them before they start.
She basically just has this attitude of like, oh, Bulk and Skull are doing something again. Not sit down and just learn or shut up.
I think she may have just come to terms with, this is what they do and I have given up.
They're unfixable. They're just going to be,
Also, she just spent 9 months away.
She still thinks they're endearing.
Yeah.
Look, Bulk gets some mayo on his face. Let's not dwell on it.
Can't. But, like, I think this is the closest we've come thus far.
You mean because Skull has it in a squeezy bottle and he squeezes it out onto Bulk? Yep.
Yep. Squeezes it out onto Bulk's face. And it's a light white liquid that splurges onto Bulk's face.
Oh, I'm not comfortable with that verb.
Neither am I. I understand that they've got it in their heads that Bulk and Skull should have, like, a practical joke every week.
Yep.
I don't understand why they keep it within this realm of goo or liquid getting on Bulk's face.
Right. Yeah.
That's a very specific expression of the idea of practical joke.
Yes.
I can't... Like, why do they not fall over a bit more? Like, they do that a bit, but it just...
The time when he fell in the bin.
Like the time he fell in the bin.
I mean, look, maybe they were getting feedback from the kids that it was hilarious. Like,
maybe.
I don't know.
Kids always enjoy it when mess happens.
Well, I guess this is, like, just shortly before, I guess, the exclusion of sliming on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I think they're about parallels, so...
I guess it was a cultural thing. It's such a weird thing to be a cultural thing.
It truly is.
Yeah. Alright, moving on.
So, the Power Rangers have the highest grades.
Yeah, and we find this out because Billy's walking through the corridor carrying this thing with the other Rangers, and he announces to no one in particular, we get to bury this thing because we got the highest grades in the class.
Yeah, I mean, they all would know that on account of having been there.
So, like, if I was one of the other kids in that corridor, like, if I was in a bad mood, I'd punch that kid.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just think he was a tool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got the highest grades, yeah.
I think people think that about him anyway.
Probably.
So...
Just a strange thing to want to announce to the world.
Yeah.
It's more because they don't know how to write it properly so that we know without...
Oh, yeah, look,
I
mean, writing that kind of exposition has got to be tough.
Yeah.
But they certainly haven't tried.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do it.
Tough is probably overselling it. It would be a small amount of work.
Yeah,
pretty much.
to do. So they just go to the park.
Yep.
And at first it looks like they're just going to start digging a hole in the park.
Yeah.
But then we see that there's like a sign that says time capsule here and someone's left some shovels for them. So clearly it was like organised plan.
Yeah.
I would have thought that what you do would be take all the kids down there.
Yeah.
And even if you let those 5 dig the hole...
Get everyone involved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just assuming that because they were the highest of the grade and...
No one else should be allowed.
No, that they just do it properly and that they wouldn't mess up and...
Oh, I see.
They wouldn't try and put something sneaky
Mrs.
in there.
Appleby's not interested in going on a field trip with all the kids.
She's
It's
like,
just too much effort. You kids go.
Yeah.
You kids go. Have fun. So, look, Rita sends out some putties.
Yep.
The Power Rangers, who are holding shovels, put the shovels down.
Well, they want to hurt someone.
They do, though. That's the issue. They want to, like, stop these putties, who we haven't seen any evidence of, like, emotions or feelings.
Yeah, they don't appear to be sentient.
As far as we know, they're just, like...
disposable clay things, yeah.
So, they could just beat the shit out of them with some shovels.
God, that would be good. No flipping, no nothing. They just grab it and just wail on them over and over.
The putty does like a triple backflip and goes in front of them and goes... and Jason just whacks it in the face.
Or just kneecaps it.
Oh, God.
And you hear like a horrified crunch.
Oh, Jesus. That would be so much better than what happened.
Yeah. Although, we do get a new original song from Mr. Ron Wasserman called TikTok.
Yep.
Because it's a time capsule.
Yep.
So,
and look, it's a solid, unmorphed fight.
Yep.
They're never terrible.
Yeah.
Because all those guys can do all that gymnastics and can make it look fairly real. And
there's definitely, like, better and worse ones.
Yes.
And this was better on the scale. And look, I love those songs.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're always fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like the fight. And while this happens...
Yep. Squat and Babu.
Thank you, I forgot. Squat and Babu teleport down. And because their plan is to put a photo of Rita in the time capsule.
Yes.
What they do, instead of just slipping in a photo while no one's looking, they pick up the time capsule and try and make off with it. And they fail at this, unfortunately.
They'd have succeeded straight away.
If they had brought the picture down with them.
Yes. Because the
Like
Power Rangers
what
were
Rita told them to
distracted.
do.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, they decide to pick it up. And they don't pick it up and then teleport away.
They
They
run
pick it up
off
and
with
then
it.
run away.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're gonna catch us! Run! Run!
So they fail.
Yep.
Because the Rangers manage to dispose of the putties quick enough to stop
See them, yeah.
What really confuses me about this episode is that the creation of the jellyfish monster in this, when Rita's talking about it, is tied to her plan to get a photo in the time capsule. Yes. But there's no connection
No,
between
she gives up on the time capsule immediately after, unless
Although honestly,
she
that's
sends
a better
Squat and
plan.
Baboo down
To try.
to put the photo in the time capsule.
What if they succeed?
Yeah, what if they actually had won
Yeah.
and the episode just doesn't show it?
Yeah, that's definitely my headcanon for
Yeah,
this
because
episode.
they probably then also tried to take it away again.
Squat
instead
just
of
went on
putting-
his own and thought, no, I'm not doing any of this bullshit.
Yeah. He opened the lid, slipped it in, closed it up, done.
Yeah.
Alright, that's good. So, speaking of the jellyfish monster, Fitz is up there making the jellyfish monster.
Yep.
What he mentions, which is really interesting, is that he gets out like a little clay figurine and mentions that he needs it for the jellyfish monster to give it a backbone, otherwise it would just be like a pool of jelly, basically. Yep. And I love the idea that there's that very specific sort of biology to them.
Like it's a complicated science of I'm taking a jellyfish, but it needs to be a standing monster, so it needs a humanoid
form.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a cool little touch.
Yeah.
The jellyfish monster is a disgusting thing.
I really like it.
I do, but it's really like gross looking. But it's...
Let's describe it. It's like it's got kind of two human-y legs.
Yeah.
And then its torso is sort of like an upside down triangle shape.
It looks like a muscle to me.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's white with like blue
veiny bits.
Veiny overly bits in its body.
It looks a bit like
Tentacle
a swimsuit
arm.
material as well.
Yeah.
It's got that, yeah.
And one of its arms at the end of the hand has like almost like a whip of tentacles.
Yeah.
It's a cool design. I really quite like
It
the
is
jellyfish monster.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to do much. Well, actually, he does a lot more than you expect.
Yeah.
But so he's got like a laser gun hand.
Yep.
Shoots like stinging.
Which shoots a special acid that can get through the Power Rangers suits.
Yeah, and
somehow.
it's pretty cool. It's almost like a Gatling gun of
Yeah.
lasers. But instead of lasers, it's allegedly like a toxic substance.
Yep.
So the Power Rangers
It's
are
a toxic spray, sorry, that's what we're told.
There we go. The Power Rangers arrive to fight it, and almost immediately they get defeated by the toxic fray and have to run away again. So they go back to the command center.
It's not a great look for the heroes of
It's
the show.
not. They go back to the command center, and Zordon mentions that Alpha's working on a spray to coat the Ranger suits to protect against it. But he's already done, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, which must mean that he started before they went down.
Yeah.
Which means he maybe could have said, hey guys, he's got a toxic spray.
Wait 2 minutes.
We're working on a solution. We don't know how long it'll be. Avoid the toxic
They
spray.
just have really bad communication.
Yeah, it's...
I think from a storytelling perspective, this is really weak. Because they get there, they hit by the toxic stuff, they go back to the command center, they get an immediate solution to the problem that doesn't require any agency on the part of the lead characters.
Yeah.
Then they go back to the fight better.
Yeah, it could have just skipped that and had a longer fight with the jellyfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It's
there's,
nice to see Alpha doing something, though.
Yeah.
I suppose. But yeah, there was potential there for some sort of subversion of the usual dynamic of the show.
Yeah.
And it was wasted.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this spray looks kind of like 1990s
Sparkle.
ray traced laser sparkles. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the actual actors were on set at all for that bit?
I don't know.
Because they don't ever like demorph or take their helmets off.
We see them in later episodes, I know, with wearing the suits with the helmets off.
And
so.
that's something I really dig is the suits but no helmets.
What I suspect that it is them, just because there's no way to me they'd pay extras.
Right.
You know, like they've got the people there, they're just going to use them because it's the cheapest possible thing they can do in that situation.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So they go back and fight the jellyfish, who now has an umbrella.
Yeah. Like a flesh umbrella.
Yeah, which can deflect arrows and deflect Trini's dagger things.
Yep.
And he can teleport.
Teleport other people.
Well, himself
yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And then he can use the umbrella to teleport other people by spinning it.
By hypnotising them, I guess. Sending them into that nebulous dimension that we haven't seen in a while, to be fair. But they used to go every second episode.
Here's the thing. All of these things he can do are kind of cool, and they're kind of cool gimmicks.
Yeah.
But it'd be so much better if he had one of them.
Yes.
Than having, like, 3 of them.
Yeah. And I thought it would be a lot more interesting if they had something to do with being a jellyfish.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Like, having an umbrella, teleporting people, teleporting yourself.
Although the stingy, acidy type thing.
Yeah, if that was his gimmick, if he had, like, poison tentacles, that's enough.
Yeah.
Give someone else the magical teleporting umbrella.
Yeah. And make that the focus of the episode and come up with an interesting way for them to overcome it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, chop its tentacles off.
One thing. Not, like, just shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he sends them to this other dimension, and it's your usual black room with fog on the floor.
Yeah.
And now this bit is genuinely cool.
It's interesting, yeah.
He's intangible.
Yeah.
So he's kind of semi-transparent.
Yeah.
And their attacks go right through him.
Yeah.
But his attacks damage them.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
It's a very cool effect, and I think Billy describes it as being time-locked.
Time phase.
Time phase. Yeah. And, like, that's another thing.
That's one whole episode is that gimmick.
That's an interesting idea that you could milk. But no.
It gets a minute and a half, maybe. And there's one shot, which must have been the suit actors and the jellyfish separately.
Yeah.
That's perfectly timed and choreographed so they get hit when he hits them, even though they're in separate places.
Yeah.
It's a really impressive shot.
Yeah.
And if that had been the episode, it would be the best episode we'd seen.
They should have, spend the whole episode in that bit, and they're trying to work out how to...
What happens is, Zack shoots his blaster just aimlessly at the wall, and that breaks them out of the magical dimension that they're... I don't think they understand what dimensions are.
No.
Because it basically means like a room in this show.
Yeah, I feel like shooting the barriers of space and time with a cannon is a bit reckless.
Even if they'd said, this is risky, do it.
Yeah.
And then, no, we're getting our ass kicked, we have to try something.
Yeah.
That would have been a better thing than what we got, which is Billy goes, just shoot. What's the worst that could happen, right?
He's the science guy, so...
So they're back.
Yep.
And basically,
it's a
they win the
Megazord
fight.
transformation. Yeah, at this point I tuned out to start playing with the Megazord. He teleports. That's cool.
Yeah.
He grabs the power sword when they stab him, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it's nothing.
No, it's pretty stock standard. And we once again end the fight with Jason calling down the power sword.
Yep.
And then destroying...
This is like the 6th or 7th time in a row.
And I think, too, it's almost at the point now where it just feels silly that they fuck around with anything else beforehand.
Yeah.
It's like, we know you're going to get the sword, call the sword, finish it off.
I understand only use your weapons for defense, but you have no other finishing move.
Yeah.
Start with that, and if they can't beat that, you can upgrade to Titanus and
Yeah.
It's just...
I don't know why they don't have the sword all the time. Shouldn't that just be...
The Thunderzord does. So, not to harp on about how much better the Thunderzord is.
Yep.
If they knew how to use the Megazord properly, then they would have it all the time too.
I've got here in my notes, I want to love this show.
Yeah.
I want this show to do, one cool monster gimmick, and they come up with a clever solution.
Yeah.
I understand that they're restricted by the Japanese footage, but we've seen an episode of Zio Ranger, and it was much better than what we got.
Yeah.
It just... Yes.
It feels like everyone at this stage is really phoning it in.
Yeah.
You know?
I really wish they would redo it and actually make it like a teen drama.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And it does get better. Not quite what you want, but it's going to get better. But for the moment, it's a slog.
Peaks and valleys.
Yeah. So they finish the fight.
Yep.
They go back to the school. And then we find out that Bulk and Skull have just finished their sandwich. I'm not sure exactly what took them 3 hours in that intervening period.
Especially because it looked like it was done in class.
It
I
did.
don't know.
But they're carrying it into the juice bar.
They hold it above their heads triumphant.
Yeah, and then Jason says, "Sorry guys, really bad the time capsule." And so the sandwich ends up on their faces.
Yep.
Because of course it does.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they're mean to them.
Yeah.
And then we get 3 minutes of the weirdest moral.
3 minutes is probably a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, sure, but that's what it feels like. And it's basically like, I wonder what it'll be like in the future. I hope there's no war and bullying and...
Yeah. Kimberly specifically says hate
Yeah.
immediately after she just paid the shit out of Bulk.
Yeah.
Which is like, you hypocrite.
Yeah. I understand that Bulk and Skull aren't great.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not the way to do it.
That's the way to handle it, yeah.
No. And it's just... It's strange because... Like, if it tied into the rest of the episode,
Yeah.
it would be cheesy teen moral, but it would be, like, what you expect.
Well,
Yeah.
other than the time capsule was a thing, but you forget about that because of all the fighting
The time
thing,
capsule doesn't have anything to do with the jellyfish,
Yeah.
except the jellyfish is time phased, but
I
that's
didn't
not,
even make that. That's a very
but that's
tenuous...
not like, it's
Yeah.
not his thing.
Because even though Rita sent him down there to do it doesn't get mentioned.
Like, let's rework it, right? The jellyfish is a monster from the future
Yeah.
who they can't harm because he's not actually completely in the past.
Yeah.
And then they have to, like, draw him into the past, and then they save someone from the future
Or that they put something in the time capsule...
that helps them in the...
the future, that's like...
Job done.
Yeah.
Right? What we just wrote is Power Rangers Time Force, which is good.
Yeah.
So, that's an issue.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's just...
Yeah. Oh, well.
If you want to be great, the Bulk Witch somehow saves them in the future. Right? And that way it ties everything in, and Bulk and Skull are completely useless.
Yeah. But that's not what we get.
No. Yeah. So that's Reign of the Jellyfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good news is, one more episode, and then after that, Tommy's back. So at least we got something.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
It's called Return of an Old Friend.
Yeah.
And there's no one else who's gone.
It could be Principal Kaplan.
and then Mrs. Appleby goes away again.
Yeah.
Oh, but what's next week? Something of the Mantis?
Yeah. Terror of the Mantis or something? I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Kaylee, will you join us?
Yes, I will.
Fantastic.
I'm excited.
Next week we'll talk about the Legacy Megazord.
Yeah, we're going to crack that open and have a
It's
play.
another reason I have to be here.
Damn straight you do.
Alright.
Alright, thanks for listening, guys, and we shall see you next week.
Yep. Boop, 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 boop.
Okay, so when we finish recording, we realised that we forgot the Monster Ranger.
Yep.
So we're just going to tack this on at the end.
Yep.
And quickly assess the monster from this week's episode.
Who I guess was just called Jellyfish?
Yeah,
Or
we'll call him Jellyfish. for our
Jellyfish
purpose.
Monster?
Yep.
What did you think?
I think, as we discussed in the episode, was quite frustrated with how all over the place the monster is.
Yep.
Cool design, interesting gimmicks, but very scattered.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Middle of the pack?
mid-lister, yeah, I think so.
If he'd only had that time displacement thing,
Yeah.
he'd have been like number 2.
Oh,
Like,
very high.
that
that
would
was
have
his main
rocked-
thing.
yeah.
That was the episode.
Like, top 10, absolutely,
Right.
probably top 5.
Yeah. But, man, okay, so, better than Samurai Fan Man?
Yes.
Okay. Better than Cyclops?
I would say so, yeah. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than Hatchosaurus?
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
than Mutitus?
Oh, Mutitus is pretty cool. What do you reckon about that one?
Yeah, let's put him between Hatchosaurus and Mutitus.
That's a good spot. So number 22 on the list.
Yeah,
That is where this monster goes on the Monster Oranger.
yeah.
Sorry, what was it? The Monster Manifest,
Yeah,
rather.
yeah.
Cool.
Alright.
Awesome.
Glad we did that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll say goodbye again. Goodbye, guys. We'll see you later.